Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Hotsport. Welcome back to another video, the second one of the day, posting out today. This is kind of like our thing this year. We're going to be doing pre-match videos, so it's sort of like a long recap, like from talking about recapping things from the past. As we've had like times for everything kind of to gel as we build up to this. And obviously the first week back from international break is always got anticipation, always got big build up, because it's been just a while since we've been able to talk about Premier League. And of course, this is the most exciting one because it's the one where everybody's squads are now finalized after the transfer window. So the season really starts off in full. You got the Champions League coming up. And with all of that, we got another tasty week full of fixtures. So this is Upset Alert, this video, and we've just gone through the Premier League fixtures, and we're going to talk to you about which of the big sides, like top 6, top 8 sides, am I flagging a potential for them to get upset this week. Everybody, make sure you are hitting the like button. Make sure subscribing. This is our new segment. I mean, now, second time we're doing this year. We didn't do the last time because I thought everything would be straightforward. I was wrong. One team did get upset last week, but shame on me. Shame on me for not doing that. Anyway, let's go. This is Upset Alert. All right, so everybody get ready. Match week 4, here we come. So before I start talking about Upset Alert, I want to just kind of underline the fixtures this weekend in the Premier League, because I think it's cool to just start off by bringing them up. The week actually starts with my club Arsenal at home at the Emirates against Nottingham Forest. This is a game which I expect Arsenal to really show up in. There's been a obviously managerial switch at Nottingham Forest. Shockingly, Nuno sacked by Nottingham Forest, and I believe many for political reasons. I think Nuno has had Nottingham Forest had the best season last year as Nottingham Forest since Brian Clough. Like, it's a shame. Like, honestly, it's a shame that has had to happen to him. I don't think he's deserved. Obviously, there must be more political reasons within the club, inter-club politics that led to that. Ange Postecoglou, former Spurs manager, won the Europa League with Spurs just back in May, is now the manager of Nottingham Forest. Of course, in the Premier League, though, he had Tottenham finishing their lowest ever position in years. Obviously, the lowest you can finish without being relegated, 17th. And now he's taking on the job of a Nottingham Forest team that was way, way ahead of Tottenham last year in terms of league position. Of course, there's some of the other fixtures like involving other clubs. Bournemouth host Brighton, Crystal Palace host Sunderland. That should be a good one. I think another one I was talking about in my previous video, Everton against Aston Villa. I think that's like the lunchtime game. The two of the lunchtime games I'm looking at. Everton are hosting Aston Villa, Newcastle hosting Wolves, and then you got Fulham hosting Leeds. In the other matches, I think are pretty straightforward. I think Chelsea is going to beat Brentford. They play away at the G-Tech Stadium against the Brentford side that I think is woeful. Liverpool, we're talking about the team that's probably the best squad in the league versus the team that's the lowest squad in the league. That's the banker of the week. Liverpool against Burnley. And then now we're going to cover, by deduction, who I've circled on Under Pressure. Now, I want to make it clear, like I should every single week, Under Pressure is not Under Pressure, Upset Alert is not to say that I think that these teams are going to get upset. It's that these teams are the most likely and should be on alert, upset alert, this weekend. Let's begin with Tottenham Hotspur away at West Ham. Now, Tottenham Hotspur are the most recent victims of upset alert. Actually, both of the teams that are here both got upset. If I put these two teams last time on upset alert, I would have been looking quite genius. By the way, just the last time I did upset alert, just a recap. I believe it was I did City in trouble against Tottenham. Tottenham upset City in that game. And the other one was Newcastle, or Liverpool upset alert against Newcastle. And it took a last minute winner from Rio to make it so that Liverpool avoided that. So like I think I got my finger on the button pretty well. Last week just god awful. I thought it would be straightforward and everybody would win, and I was wrong. This is the Premier League. So now we're not going to be doing that. We have to dig deeper now. Now, this one is interesting. This is one of the most recent victims of being upset, and they were playing a Bournemouth side. Again, looking back, I don't know how I overlooked it. Bournemouth side that was great at Anfield. They came to Spurs, and they turned up, and they turned them over. They won. They scored early. They kept Spurs out. It was a victory for Bournemouth in that game. This one is an interesting one. So West Ham is a team that obviously their first two games of the season started slowly, but then they went, played Nottingham Forest away from home at the City ground and won 3-0 against Forest. Again, now prompting probably a change in the managerial position as well. West Ham has always been some sort of a tricky fixture for Tottenham in general. I think they're starting to find their legs now. After that, I think they might be Boyce. And here's the thing. Here's the main reason, right? So West Ham, I remember when we played them, after we played Declan Rice, the first time we played them, which was in the Carabao Cup. And that Declan Rice thing definitely left a chip on the shoulder of West Ham, and it just kind of kept them more up for this game. This year, Tottenham have now taken what was West Ham's best player. I mean, Jared Bowen, of course, is the marquee guy, the star boy. Not star boy, he's growing up now, pretty much. He's late 20s, star man for West Ham. But Mohamed Kudus was, much coveted by many clubs, and Tottenham ended up winning the race for his signature. And now he returns home to West Ham, and I feel, again, just the energy of that stadium might just be up for that. I always kind of feel like these revenge games are always bring an extra spark, an extra twist to the tale. Now, I do want to outline, I want to just see what sort of performances you're going to get from the new boys at Tottenham. Xavi Simons, the funny thing, they upset by Bournemouth, right? So they bring out Xavi Simons, trying to copy the whole, Eze thing, having a stadium reveal. But the difference is, man, Arsenal won 5-0 following their stadium reveal. You lost. But now Xavi Simons gets to play. Let's see. New league for him. They also brought in Randall Colomboani. Interesting to see where he fits into the lineup, if he's the starter, because I think Richarlison started off pretty well. I think Solanke obviously was brought in there last year, and now they've also got Colomboani in there. It's going to be interesting to see the lineup Thomas Frank plays against the Hammers. But yeah, I just think away from home, this is a rivalry at the end of the day. Tottenham against West Ham. I think West Ham now have just got a little bit. They got that game to get the conference on. Of the games outside, of the games that are on this week, again, I think Tottenham face an upset alert. Do I think ultimately West Ham upset Tottenham? That remains to be seen. I still would probably back Spurs in this game, but upset alert isn't necessarily just wins. It also means taking points, maybe getting a draw out of the game, which would be an upsetting Tottenham. So I've pinned this. Do not be surprised if West Ham get points out of Spurs this weekend. Let's move on to the other one, the marquee one, the title of this video, and that is the Manchester Derby. I have actually come out in my group chats on the terrace as well the other day on the Big Six, or not the Big Six, not the top six show anymore. It's six-sided. While everyone's sort of just kind of like sleeping on City and saying, you know, I think United can win this. I think United can win this. Just looking at the amount of injuries that City have, I have to flag it because there's a reason why everyone thinks United could win this. I'm not going to turn my back against that. Again, upset alert means these are the ones with the highest likelihood of the big clubs to drop points this weekend. Like, let's put this into consideration, right? So obviously 3 of the big 6 are on this on this graphic. Arsenal play Forest at home. I don't think I could put upset alert for that. Just given the motivation it is for Arsenal, I think the switch, the instability of Forest, like, yeah, Arsenal need to get themselves clicking at home. As is probably first game. I just don't see that. Liverpool, Burnley, not in a million years. It's the opposite of upset alert. And again, Chelsea, I think Chelsea have been good this season so far, and Brentford are nowhere near the level, I think, to threaten Chelsea at all. And that's the other 3 of the big 6. You know, the other one was Newcastle, if talking about Big 8, playing Wolves. Again, Wolves the worst defense in the league. Newcastle at home, St James Park. They should do the business. Everton and Villa is a kind of a different one. I feel like they're a little bit more evenly matched. So I just don't think that constitutes upset alert, because I think, you know, well, so far this season, if anything, Everton's been better than Villa. But back to Man City against Manchester United. I mentioned on my previous video that was just come out just really within the last half hour to an hour or so on Under Pressure. I elaborated on what was going on with Man City with Pep Guardiola, and they cannot lose their 3rd straight game against Manchester United. But at the same time, Man United would have their antennas up, knowing that Pep Guardiola right now is probably at one of his lowest moments in his Manchester City career, probably in his career in total, given the struggles that they had last year, and given as well where they're at this season with the start they've had to the season. And United fans are coming to this one thinking they got a shot, and I think for good reason. Like, there is some mismatch parts to this game. Like, City's inability at the moment to defend against the counter right now. They've been exposed on the counter so far this season. United, that's one of their strengths. It's like with Mbeumo specifically. So it would just be look. It's been an odd season. I think it's hard because then United, like, against sides much worse than City this year, like, as we said, like Fulham, Grimsby, and Burnley have struggled. Like, City is a bit level ahead, but again, they rose to the occasion, even though they didn't win against Arsenal in the opening game of the season. So maybe this is just sort of more of the ballpark. Like, Amorim came last year in their first matchup at the Etihad and won and took all 3 points. So all that stuff needs to be taken into account. It's all very much like legitimate stuff here. Ultimately, just like I said, I'm actually backing City come up with a response and win this game. But it's an alert. It's an absolute alert. And yes, United have the chance to do the funniest thing. Like, given all the banter thrown their way over the first 3 weeks of the season, all of the negativity. If they, Man United, right now, the whipping boys, go out and then beat City and hand them their 3rd straight defeat, does not get any easier, as I said in my previous video for City. They've got Napoli in the middle of the week in the Champions League. Then they go to the Emirates to play an Arsenal side that at that point could, for the first time, unveil their strongest lineup, the Andrea Berta lineup. So this is a must-win for City, just to keep their neighbors quiet, to keep them in their place somewhat. Like, Man United are a big club, right? But over the recent years, it's not even close. Like, City are much better. Time for them to show their class, but it's definitely a chance for United to do the funniest thing. That has been Upset Alert for this week. Let me know, guys, what you think. Do you agree with me that these are the teams that should be put on upset? Do you think I overlooked some of the other matchups regarding the big sides? Do you think they should have been featured on here? Who do you think is going to win this week, these two matchups, particularly Tottenham against West Ham, Man United against Man United? Leave that all in the comments section below, guys. Enjoy match week 4. It's going to kick off for me tonight at 9:30 p.m. local time, lunchtime kickoff in the UK. Arsenal against Nottingham Forest starts, and it will end, of course, with the Manchester derby, Manchester City against Man United at the Etihad on Sunday afternoon in England. Everybody, enjoy the football. That has been Upset Alert this week. Like and subscribe. Anton out.